Boys and girls, we're working on chapter 22 from our religion book, and we're learning about how people are called by God. And it's not like God's gonna wake you up one day by calling out your name and saying, "This is what I want you to do." Sometimes it's a voice inside of your head, almost like your conscience, that tells you what you're going to be doing with your life. I mean, for some people, it's a really special calling. Just going back to the first. And for some people, they're called to be maybe a priest or a deacon or even a nun, okay, or to do some other work with the church, okay? We can all serve God in our own way. So some people who serve God are single, some are married, all right? Some work within the church in different ways. They sing at church, especially if you're talented, you could do that, or read at the Mass. Some people serve as ushers. So there are many, many different ways that we can serve the church. And even though you may not do these things in church, you can serve the church and you can answer God's call by doing things even as little kids. And we're going to talk about that a little bit today when we're done reading. So we're going to read about married people and single people and how they are called by God. And we start by asking Jesus, show us the way to love one another. Family members have many ways to show love for one another. Make up a storyboard about a loving family. We believe. In our families, there are single people and married people. They serve God in many of the same ways. See these little dots? Do you remember what they're called? Yep, they're called bullets. They love and care for their families. So that's one way that you serve God, is just by being a good family member, a good mom and a good dad, a good sister, a good brother, grandparents, aunts, uncles, just looking out for each other. They take part in parish activities. So doing different things with the church that I mentioned before, and I'm sure I didn't even mention all of them. You know, sometimes when you go to church, especially during special parts of the year like Easter and Christmas, you might walk in and see a Christmas tree. All right, or you might see things taken down during Lent, and you might see other things put in their place. These things happen because people come in when nobody's at Mass and they decorate the church. So that's one way they serve. Third bullet, they tell others about Jesus and the church. And the fourth bullet, they work to make their communities better places. Single people and married people also serve God by helping people who are in need. They spend time with people who are lonely. They visit people who are sick and they pray for others. Sometimes people will bring communion to people who can't come to church because they're sick. Single people serve God by serving others. They share God's love in their families, communities, and the church. Married people celebrate the sacrament of matrimony. A husband and wife show God's love in special ways with each other and with their children. They teach their children about Jesus and the church. They show them how to live as Catholics. We respond. Tell about ways families can show love for God and others. And there's a little song here, which I will not sing because I am not that person you see in church singing, and there's a reason for that. God has made us a family, and together we will grow in love. God has made us a family, and together we will grow in love. Oh, yes, we need one another, and together we grow in love. And we will forgive one another, and together we grow in love. So boys and girls, you've been spending a lot of time with your family lately. Maybe more time than you would like to spend, and I'm sure you all miss your friends. And you know the same is true for me. I'm not complaining, but sometimes it's hard to get along with others. But sometimes we have to just kind of let things go too. You know, and if you're with your sisters and your brothers, you're spending a lot of time together, and I bet you there are moments when you're not getting along very well. Sometimes you just have to make the best of it. If you're not getting along, take a little break from each other. Go off and do something on your own. If you're tired of having your parents tell you to do your schoolwork, you need to listen to them. And you know what? Just do it well, and get it done. And then you can move on and do the things that you want to do. I'm not going to lie. There are days when I love my daughter very much, but she leaves her dirty dishes in the sink, or she's not cleaning her room. But you know what? I just let it go. It's a small thing. We're all here. We're healthy. We're in our own houses. There's a lot to be grateful for. So even on days when, you feel like you just want to get out and be with your friends, and we all do, it's a good time just to remember the things that we're grateful for. Some days it's easier to do that than others. That's true for all of us, boys and girls. But God put us on this earth, and He loves us so much. And we just have to trust in Him that things are all going to work out in the end. So, boys and girls, I want you to look back over the pages, okay? And read them to yourselves. Maybe talk about them a little bit with your parents. And remember how much you love your family, even on the days when everybody's not getting along as well as you would like. Hopefully, those days don't happen very often.